Are you rich on 180 grand a year? Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.heise here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee and let's have a look at this article, which seems to be throwing fuel on the fire of all this jealousy here in Australia, that if you earn 180 grand a year, you're rich. What do you think, guys? What do you think? Before we jump through this article, let's go over here and have a look at the ATO. I know, it's hard to look at the ATO website. I know we all hate it. Get flashbacks to filling out our BAS and sending all these small business people, sending money to them so they can invest it wisely. For that, I'm going to have a drink. So, I've just thrown in, 180 grand divided by 12, 15 a month. And I've added none of the other special things. I've just said, so you're walking away in your pocket with 10 grand a month on $180,000 a year. Now remember, the Prime Minister was talking about fly-in fly-out workers who are working remotely. And also, hey, the wharfies in Sydney, they're on that same money too. This is kind of middle management type of money, $180,000 a year. Now, 10 grand a month in your pocket after tax, you could do a lot with that. It would make life a lot easier. A lot of people won't even get close to that, sadly. But the problem is, I wouldn't say it makes you rich. I'd say it's enough for you to live very comfortably and plan for your future and have a decent buffer. So if anything slaps you in the face or a disaster happens, you should be fine. But you know what happens. What's our financial literacy in this country? How many people on that money probably still feel like they're living poor or living week to week or have got no control over their finances? I hope not many, but I somehow suspect it's not going to be true. The problem is the more money you earn, until you learn how to be frugal, just means your expenses usually grow with it. So let's have a look at this, because really it's coming from Labor, it's coming from the Greens, it's coming from a lot of people, even One Nation are critical of giving tax cuts to these people. And they work hard. And you see every article, it's, someone on $180,000 a year gets a 9 grand tax cut, while someone only on $90,000 only gets a 2 grand. How is that fair? I mean, do people not understand how our tax system works? The more you earn, the more taxes they pay. I mean, this person is paying every month 4.5 grand, 4,600 a month in tax. That's more than some people will pay in an entire year. Just think about that. They don't even. If you want to get a bigger tax, a bigger tax return or get more tax back, you just need to earn more money to pay more. It's really that simple. It disincentivizes people from working. In principle, I like the idea of more people getting control of their own money, because then that money will flow through the economy, and people will say, "Oh no, rich people, they save it. 180 grand ain't rich." 180 grand is a mate of yours that probably has a nice car, and then he's got another nice car, and then they need to get a jet ski, and the money's all flowing around. Maybe those are just stereotypes. So, Scott Morrison's plans for tax cuts have sparked debate about whether earning 180 grand makes you rich. This is what the figures say. What do you think, guys? Do you think 180 grand makes you rich? I think it makes you well off. You should be comfortable. You should be able to live a comfortable life. You should have savings. Money shouldn't be a source of stress then if you're earning that much. If it is, something's wrong. The funnel. You're pissing away money, okay? It's that simple. If it is, you're just wasting money on something. Oh, but little Jimmy needs to go to this special 5 piano classes a month so they can, graduate and say they've done classical piano for 12 years and never complain about having to get a retail job. Remember that one, that advertisement? So Prime Minister Scott Morrison sparked debate this week about what rich means after he defended his plans for tax cuts to Australia's highest income earners. Morrison, who earns 500 grand a year. I mean, it's all about jealousy. 500 grand. Just think how much. Well, actually, let's do it. Let's do it. What's that? 500 divided by 12. That's 41. So 41,000 a year. Let's go here. What do we want? We'll just do individual calculate. We'll just do this so it's simple. So let's say monthly 41, give or take. Let's see how much tax good old Scomo will pay. Well, there you go. Okay. So say you're earning 41 grand gross a month. You're only pocketing $24,000 a month, but you're paying $16,000 in tax. 16 grand in tax. In 1 month, our Prime Minister will pay more tax than a whole lot of Australians in a year. Probably more than some people in their entire lifetime. But that is another slightly more depressing topic. But still, I mean, come on. You'd want someone to get to that point. You'd want them at least to be paid half of what a civil servant is. But 24 grand a month, he definitely, I'd consider that quite wealthy. You should be very capable of saving. But then, I mean, what the problem is, this is where the negative gearing comes in. People see this and think, bloody hell, why am I paying the government 16 grand? Let's just buy 15 investment properties, negative gear them, and we'll get that money back. That's what people do, guys. It's Australia. It's the Australian way. You know, throw another shrimp on the barbie, get your damper bread, and invest in houses. Negative gear those suckers. Isn't that what they did around the Billabong? I swear it was in that song. In particular, plan helps anyone earning over 180 grand a year, as they will see their tax rate drop from 45% to 32.5%, saving them $8,640 a year from 2025. In comparison, someone earning 90 grand would save just $2,340 a year. Well, they're paying different amounts. We saw what someone on 180 grand, they're paying what, 4,600 a month in tax. So let's see, 90. Let's do the same thing here. 90 grand, that's about 7.5 gross. And I know this can get more complicated with all these other things that people do, but you know, just for a comparison, because no one ever talks about it. It's always the same bloody thing. Okay, so there you go. So you've got someone on 180 grand is paying 4,611 a month in tax. Someone on 90 grand is only paying 1,794 in tax. Little bit of a difference there, isn't it? So this guy who's earning double is paying nearly 3,000 a month more in tax than this person, give or take. Probably 2.8. I can't be bothered doing the sums. What do you think? So, you gotta love our tax system, don't you? The government plan sees the 32.5% tax rate applied to all income between 41,000 and 200,000. That's good. That's fantastic. Simplify it. Get it even lower. Cut some of the rubbish you spend your money on, guys. When asked what the government considers to be a high income, the PM didn't give a specific figure, but singled out fly-in fly-out workers who said they deserve a tax cut. It's hard work and you're away from your family, he said. Well, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I've got family members who do it. My brother-in-law does it. But he doesn't have a wife or kids. You know, and he can still come back, and I think he gets like a week here, a week off, or anything, and, you know, then he's just surfing and enjoying it with his girlfriend. It'd be harder if you had a family. You know, it'd be harder for me if I had to do that with the family here. It really puts a tinge on the money that they're getting paid. So, and you do earn a bit more when you're doing that. But I tell you, you put a bit of it away too. And I don't think they should be penalised and treated like there's some merchant banker in Sydney. They're hard-working people out on mines and difficult parts of the country. I think they deserve a tax cut. I think they deserve to take more of what they earn. I think all of us deserve to keep more of what we earn. His comments have sparked debate about what is considered rich in Australia. Figures from the ABS shed some light on how much Australians actually earn and how their income compares to others. So if you live in Sydney, guys, Sydney-siders have some of the highest incomes in Australia, but someone earning 180 grand would still be in the top 10% of full-time workers. The city's top earners earn at least $2,600 per week before tax. $135,200, according to 2017 statistics provided by the ABS. Yeah, but what about the cost of living in Sydney, guys? What about the cost of living in Sydney? I mean, I guess one of the things, if you do fly in, fly out, and you live in a cheaper area and you go, you know, fly in, fly out, you can be making good coin. I think it's a young man's game, you know. I know a lot of guys have to do it. I mean, We had one project where they were looking at trying to address the mental health issues on some of these camps. It's kind of depressing, actually. It's tough. So insight into who is considered rich can be gained from the ABS's 2017-18 Survey of Income and Housing. This looks at household income, not individual income, but it reveals that for those on a combined income of $4,982 a week before tax, so $259,000 a year, they are in the top 10% of wage earners. Okay, so if your house is bringing in $260,000 a year, you're in the top 10%. A housing income of $180,000 would still be in the top 30% of earners. The New South Wales figure is a bit more modest, as wages in Sydney are generally higher. To be included among the state's top earners, household income needs to be $4,493 a week. So $233,000 a year. So that's a household income. This is the thing. What's happened now, you need to have a couple working just to lift up that household income to pay all your costs. And the market's adjusted to that. And in some ways it's a little sad because, it's hard for one person to stay at home. If you want to have one parent dedicated to the kids. That's a luxury now. That's quite a luxury now, and often people will make significant sacrifices to how much they can earn to achieve that. So here we go. Here's the Greater Sydney income. So the 90th percentile is right up there. This is per week. The mean is here, between 2.5 and 3, and the Australian mean is at 2.5. So 2,500 a week is the mean. So where do you sit, guys? Would you like to live in Sydney? Could you afford to live in Sydney? So states, weekly household income. So the 90th percentile is New South Wales, 4,493. Okay, we're looking here. 10th a week, 400. Is this household? Household income of 462. That must just be a welfare house or some part-time work. That's just crazy. Or it could have been some of the real remote communities. So, this is it, guys. This is, the K-shaped recovery too we're going to see. Because you're going to have the people up here, a lot of them aren't affected by these lockdowns. The people down here are. Was it worth it? There's going to be generations. There's going to be papers written, essays written, and generations of pain felt because of this. It really is kind of sad. We need to really consider our political system here that we have with these two parties. I think we're just going to keep digging ourselves in a hole. More people need to understand the implications of this. I need a coffee. Nothing better than a Steiner coffee in the morning. So growth in household income. Okay, from 99 to 2000. Now, what we'll do is I'll bring up a little wage chart here. And this was the RBA predicting wage growth. You can see from 2011 to 2017, they've failed in their ability. So in 2000, that's like the future. Remember, all you other old bastards like me watching that when 2000 was the future. I grew up watching Beyond 2000 as a kid, and I loved it. And now we're in 2020. When are we getting the flying cars and the hoverboards? The future kind of really didn't pan out, did it? Anyway. So we can see here the 90th percentile. It's gone up from about $3,000 to between $4,250. And you can see, so all wages have slightly grown, but the growth has been up here at the top three, really. All of these, kind of no movement. Look at the bottom. So, but we're not talking about merchant bankers. As Mr. Morrison said, he wasn't talking about privileged Sydney-siders. He was talking about hardworking miners. To these hardworking miners, $180,000 may not be so much. However, statistics show that even among those in the mining industry who have the highest full-time adult average wage ordinary earnings in Australia, someone earning $180,000 would be batting above the average. As of May 2020, the average weekly earnings for someone in the mining industry was $2,697 a week, $140,000 a year. That compares to the average of all employees in Australia, which was much lower at $1,713 at $89,000 a year. Spare thought for those in the industry with the lowest weekly earnings, accommodation and food services, who have been hit the hardest by these restrictions. who've been hit the hardest by these restrictions. This is the thing. They're going to be people, none of the miners will hit. They'll implement it. None of the big businesses will hit. None of the merchant bankers will be hit. None of the professionals will be hit. None of the civil servants will be hit. You know, it's the poor. The poor are copping it, guys. They're paying the price. This is going to lead to more social unrest. Perfect. Just what we need. So, they earn $1,139 a week. So, what's considered rich? Individual employees who earn $2,109 a week, $109,000 or more, are in the top 10% of workers in Australia, according to 2017 statistics from the ABS. However, this includes part-time and casual workers, so the figure is lower than would be for just full-time workers. Anyone earning $180,000 would definitely be one of the country's highest-paid workers. The large majority of workers, about 75%, earn less than $78,000 a year before tax. Yeah, but the majority of us, we don't work like the guys do on the mines. We don't work remotely. You know, we don't have to leave our families for weeks on end. You know, is it fair or reasonable for what they're working, what they're earning? Have you been out to one of those mines? Have you seen how remote they are? You know, so them getting spoilt with getting, you know, clothes washed and, you know, catering. Around 25, they probably just need to do all of that just to keep the morale up, guys, to keep the mental health in check out there. I mean, I am very happy with our lifestyle where we've set up our office at home. We're working from here. We've given up, scaled back the business, and I get to spend more time with the kids. You know, it's fantastic. But that's a choice. Well, we're seeing the remote robot technology. Maybe we'll see more of that. More people driving a big mining truck remotely. Some people were saying in the comments, you know, someone was doing it from their phone. I scarily think that could probably be true. Around 25% of employees earn less than $660 a week. Around 50% of employees earn between $660 and $1,512 per week. So 50% of workers are under $1,500 a week. So it shows you we're in a two-speed economy here, guys. It's going to be bloody hard to scrape together a house deposit or anything when you have someone earning, what, $180,000 a year, and then they probably negative gear this away. You know, this is a tool for them. So they'll make a loss on property, and then that will inflate the cost of property. It all flows one thing to another, everyone. And it's all government intervention. We need to simplify the system, you know? We need to just up the tax-free threshold. Make everyone earning $100,000, you know? Make it tax-free. Then cut back on things to make it work. Can you see that happening? Not a chance. Because there's jealousy here. There's jealousy in Australia. We've got the tall poppy syndrome. This is why I can't see UBI ever coming into Australia. Too much tall poppy. When Gina Reinhardt gets it, oh, the media will just slam it. And then it'll be, you know, they're going off here about someone on $180,000. And the sad thing is, they're going to be people that are earning this money who are just frittling away the money, thinking they need to buy the boat. They'll lease the boat. They'll buy the expensive house. They'll have the terrible, you know, the huge mortgage. And some of them will probably be in a worse situation than someone on $1,500 a week who's probably just saving their money smartly, who's living within their means. Maybe, you know, has got a mortgage for a house that's not as pretty as the nice ones and is probably happier. And that's the perverse thing about this whole situation. Don't fall into the trap that thinking a shitload of money is going to make you happy, guys, because it won't. It won't. So among households, those that earn $4,000, it'll make it easier to be happy, but still, it's not the only key to it. Among households, those that earn $4,275 a week before tax, $220,000, were in the top 10% of income earners in Australia, according to the 1718 Survey of Income and Housing. But the amount can vary widely among capital cities. To be in the top 10% earners in Darwin, household income must be at least $5,200 a week. So $274,000. That's all the remote mining up there, compared to $3,600 in Hobart, so $189. This is what annoyed me. The firm I was working in was headquartered in Launceston, and the people in the same position were earning the same money down in Hobart or Lonnie, and they could buy a house for like 150 grand. And that got me annoyed. Got me annoyed. In Sydney, the top 10% of households earn 4,982. In Perth, it's 4,923. ACT, 4,854. Brisbane, it's 4.4. Melbourne, 4.3. And Adelaide, 3.9. So here's how the tax rates are phased in. Stage 1, 18 grand, you're not paying any tax. So from 18 to 37, you're paying 19%. Then for 37 to 90, you're paying 32.5, and then they're just growing it up. So it's stage 1. And this is brought forward. So they're simplifying the system in stage 3. So 19% from 18,200 to 45,000. 45 to 200 is 30%. And then above 200,000, it's 45%. I mean, think about that. 45%. You're almost giving most of the money that you're earning to the government. So you can see why. This incentivizes people. This makes it almost more efficient for people rather than working harder to find ways to minimize their tax. That's what it creates. That's what it creates. And then we all know, I would say I'd love to see some economic modeling on property price growth without negative gearing, how that would have played out. That would be quite interesting to see. So what do you think, everyone? What do you think? Do you think 180 grand makes you rich? Yeah. Or do you think this growing, wealth disparity here, is this a sign of what's coming in Australia? Or is it just going to get worse? You're going to get people that are earning a lot of money and people that are earning a lot. And the thing is, where's it going to lead? What social issues is it going to occur? Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments, guys. Do you know someone on decent income that's living sensibly, living within their means? Or do you know someone on decent income that's just leasing everything? Because I'm sure that you have stories of both. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan and want to support the content I create, there are a few ways you can. You can join us on YouTube or Patreon. You can support us using our affiliate links at Amazon, eBay, or Independent Reserve. You can buy merch from HeiseSays or Teespring. Support us using Gold Pass from the Perth Mint or via PayPal. Take care, guys. Have a great day. And watch out for those 180 grand mining workers. Take care.